Good morning, everyone. Kim Kaisa here, streaming live to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube this morning. And I haven't been on in a while, so I wanted to come on, even even though I'm incredibly, gosh, there's a lot going on here. So there's been something I've been wanting to share over the last few weeks, and also just really a catch up of where I've been and where we've been. I know a lot of you guys saw my promotions for Infinite Leader, and that happened last week. I was in Utah and I broadcast it from there. If anybody still wants recordings of that, by the way, you can still purchase those. Just DM me. There was an incredible experience going out and sitting amongst the red rocks, like literally having them speak to me on some level. If we tune in, we can hear nature. We can hear the mountains, we can hear the sky. All of that is God through us, right? And that was an amazing experience and just grounded in me. The It reminded me that I don't have to go to Utah to have that, right? That I can have that here at my desk, and you can have that here at your desk, like God through you speaking, expressing, right? And so that was incredible. Like, that was an incredible experience. And the other thing that's happened in the last month is with Craft Creamery, and then I'm going to get on to the $1 billion prediction. With Craft Creamery, we have now produced 8 ice cream dinners in the last month. And I look at this and go like, whoo, it's it is legit hard work and this incredible expression of Steve's creativity, my creativity, our collaboration with our employees. It's just been phenomenal, and our guests have loved it. Like, they have really loved it. We've gotten so many incredible, um, just like they can't believe that they can eat ice cream for dinner, have it with a little bit of wine, and that, like, a lot of people said, "Well, I thought I was going to have to go to dinner after this," but they don't, because of the way Chef Steve pulls it all together. We have another public series coming up in September. Again, if you want links to that, those are already available. You can just DM me for that. And that series is going to be called "The Scoops That Shouldn't Work." And this is where he makes ice cream. The flavor should not work. It sounds crazy, like pho or brisket. And then he's plating them up. The way he plates these things are incredible because he puts all these different flavors together, textures, that sort of thing. So you don't want to miss that if you haven't been in. So totally different dinners. So just, again, DM me on that. But what I wanted to come on and talk about today is um, this piece about $1 billion prediction and $1 billion declaration, really. And I want to talk about this because this has hit my radar screen a couple times this year, and I just realized it hit my radar screen a couple times this year. So Steve and I, this is this one of these pieces is for us, Steve and I, my husband, Chef Steve, and I, and then one is about a client. So it's kind of a little bit of an extended story, and I have to watch my time here because I have a meeting coming up. So Steve and I went to a writing class in February at this incredible place up in Austin that maybe someday I'll talk about. And we met other entrepreneurs who were building businesses in real time, some of them incredibly successful, some of them more like at the beginning stages, like we are with Craft Creamery, some kind of in the middle stages, like I am with the coaching. And I had asked the instructor ahead of time, like, hey, do you mind if we bring ice cream? Because basically, anytime we get in a group of strangers, we want to bring the ice cream and just keep spreading the word. So Steve packaged up ice cream and we served it at dinner one night for dessert. And as always, the people loved it, which we know now, like, we're not bringing it for approval. We know they're going to love it, but we just are bringing it because we love to share that love. We love to share that creativity. And one of the gentlemen there who we met, had developed a lot of different companies. He had a history as an entrepreneur of like bringing ideas that no one else had done and bringing them to life as companies and then selling the company. So he had a lot of success. And he pulled us aside and said, "Okay, what are you trying to do with this business?" And I think Steve was talking to someone else at the time, and so I started to explain to him sort of our vision. And at the time, our vision for Craft Creamery, what it's been from the beginning, is to make it a regional ice cream company, meaning like probably Texas, because Texas is huge, it's a region. But have, several scoop shops here in Houston, have them in Austin, San Antonio, but even hitting markets like maybe College Station or Waco or Lubbock, who knows, like places where maybe um, I think probably kind of underserved, and then continuing to sell into really specialty grocery, that sort of thing, and wholesale to restaurants. And we hope to do that over the next 5 to 7 years, grow it to about, I don't know, we've predicted maybe $25 million, and then sell it, and do whatever is next for us. Who knows what that'll be. So that's been our idea. And I was sharing this with this gentleman who developed so many companies. And he looked at me like kind of like this. And I said, "What?" And he said, "You're thinking way too small." And I said, "Are we?" And he said, "I think you have a $1 billion company here." And I was like, like, really? Now, I don't know if ice cream companies become $1 billion companies. Like, I don't really know. And I haven't looked it up because I don't think I don't think what Steve and I create has anything to do with what anybody else created. But this man saw something that we couldn't see, right? And it really just planted a seed for us of like, wow, what if? What if? Right? Maybe we are thinking too small. Okay, that was in February. Fast forward. I'm having a session with one of my clients in July, so not that long ago. I think it was a couple, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And this client is amazing. Like, he's created an incredible company already, and he's grown it. Like, I'm sort of like have really good coding to grow people who are in multi six figures, like six, seven, 800, $900,000 into multi seven figures. That's something that I've done consistently, and we've done that. But he made a declaration during our session, and it was about, again, I am going to grow a $1 billion business, right? And the interesting thing, like all of my clients, when they're building their businesses, it's really in a unique way. And it's not in the way a lot of people are building businesses this way, in scaling, right? Scaling to me is, yeah, it's definitely lots more money, serving more people, but a lot of times with less special services, less uniqueness, less personal touch. But that's not what he's doing. He's scaling in a way where it's highly unique, and I'm not going to give his trade secrets out. Highly unique, high personal touch, white glove, right? So $1 billion is what he declared. And I was like, yes, I am so on board for that. And what I didn't realize then, but I realized sort of as I was thinking about coming on and talking about the B word, was like, whoo, that's hit my radar screen twice this year. Right. And I know when things hit my radar screen a couple of times, there's a universal direction, right? It's a universal direction. So that's really the conversation that I wanted to open up today, because like I didn't come into 2022 with the B word on my mind. It just didn't, like, I don't know, that's never really been a thing for me. But when we start to think about like what would it take to grow a $1 billion company, like what would that be? Like, it starts to expand our vision of what's possible. And like, even thinking for most of us, not everyone, but like if you start to think into the how of that, you like you can't figure it out. right? Because it's not figure outable, but it is in the realm of possibility. It's in the realm of possibility with our own intuitive direction. Like we couldn't do that without like this really divine intuitive direction. It's just not possible, right? There are things that we're going to have to do or like take on board that we can't even fathom right now, right? But most of us, if we're building businesses, we're like digging into the how to. What do I need to do? What's the next step? What's this? And there's nothing wrong with that, except that when it's done like to exclusion of what I'm talking about here, about like divine guidance, universal direction, knowledge beyond what we know, then it's very limited. Those little next steps and how to's are very, very limited, right? And what I keep being called to express is not the next step, not the how to, although I'm okay at that. Like that, I have a long history, track record of being pretty good at that. It's to elevate the vision of each of us. I know I have a lot of entrepreneurs. I know I have a lot of business owners. I know I have a lot of people, even still in sort of more corporate situations, who listen to me. So what I'm for those who have ears for this morning is the question is, where are you not allowing in that incredible divine guidance, universal direction? Because there's a huge surrendering inside that we have to allow to take place. This is not something we can structure and have like walls around, and here's how it's going to happen. Like we can't, that's not the way it works. So this is like this invitation. If we want to make some kind of like whatever your $1 billion declaration is, it's got to allow on a very large scale something in that's way bigger than just the personal you, than just your company, right? I talked to a potential client recently who was one of my past long-term clients, and she said, I'm not about next leveling, I'm about next universe, right? And what I know about that, as we likely continue our work now again this year after a break of a couple years, is that, oh yeah, next universe has to do with inviting the divine in and surrendering to how that comes about, right? And I'm sharing this because this is something, although I'm very connected to this, I have been connected to this since I was a kid, had an enlightenment experience when I was 8 years old, where just like God flooded my system with universal intelligence. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Maybe I'll go live about that someday. But like I'm connected to this, and I also see where my own mind, my egoic mind, sometimes thinks I have to figure it all out. Sometimes thinks I need the plan, and then that things need to go according to this little human's plan, right? And that's just not the most efficient way to do anything. Is anybody tracking with me this morning? I see I have a couple people on. Say hi if you're here. I'd love hearing. The great thing about when you guys say hi, by the way, just like as an little aside, is that when there are comments, when there are likes on the videos, it helps other people find it. It's not for my ego. Like it's nice when I have people like and all that publicly. But most of you guys kind of come behind the scenes and tell me. But like it helps other people find it, because the algorithms on all these crazy social media sites, like they respond to people going like, yeah, you know, praise, I don't know, whatever, sing it, sister, whatever, and the hearts and stuff. So thank you for whoever just did that. Awesome. But this is this is what I'm reminding us all of this morning is, when we make big declarations, first, let's not be afraid of making big declarations, right? $1 billion was not even on Steve and I's radar screen. We still don't know how to do that. We just keep following universal direction. We just say, God, thank you for that gift. We are so grateful. show us what's next. Like that's truly the majority of our business plan, because anytime we sit down and plan something out, it just doesn't go that way, right? So this is it. So this is the first piece. Is I kind of lost track of my steps there, but you guys get where I'm going, right? So first, you can dream really big. You can desire something much bigger than what you already have allowed yourself to desire, and then inviting in the universal intelligence, inviting in God's will, inviting in knowing beyond knowing, knowing beyond the brain, knowing beyond what's ever been done in your industry, right? Like if you're predicting based on your industry, you're cutting yourself short, right? If you're looking at your industry and trying to figure out, okay, here's what I'll do, you are shortchanging yourself big time, right? We can explore and feel into something much bigger. And this is what I do. This is an underutilized talent, an underutilized source in business, and that's why I'm bringing it, right? Because most of y'all already know how to do 1 + 2 = 3. You already know how to do that. You know how to do 2 + 2 = 4. What we don't know to is tapping into the exponential, tapping into that next universe, right? So that is my reminder here this morning. I would love it if you happen to catch the replay. If you're one of my replay people, let me know you've been here. I appreciate you all listening, and I will be back soon with another live.